the David Forms and Richard Hanslow are the British number one boat at the moment. They won selection to the World Championships in 2013, and that's their first World Championship medal, and they're also Olympic silver medal standing. So here on their home course, I think they're going to have a very, very good chance. And often we seem to do well on them. Home course is a definite advantage.
Well, we'll give you a little bit more of an insight of the local skills to come. We are underway with the International Canoe Federation 2015 World Championship. The first home of 5 days of exciting race is on course. And they're taking on this 22-game challenge, 6 real life upstick gates, and major downstick gates, and from Uzbekistan, it's Alicia Kamalov, and Mirzo Shamsimovich, and they're having a hard time at the top. They rolled on the top recovery, but out of their boat. And that will be it for round one. Here, just give us a walk through. Through there. So they won't get a score on their first run, but they will get a score on their second run.
Yeah, and we saw there a crew from Uzbekistan getting into a lot of difficulty, capsizing in C2 and then rolling back up is a very difficult thing to do on occasion. It's a bit of a black art because you know you need to coordinate closely your efforts, and when you're upside down and it's hard to tell what's going on, then it's much more complicated to do that. But yeah, they'll have the opportunity to regroup, and there'll be no disadvantage on their second run, so they'll be fighting it out for the 5 places that'll be available on the second run. And now the next crew on the course, Andy, who we got?
The next crew is Alexander Kulikov and Pavel Zinoviev of Kazakhstan. Where is it? Number 35. And our athletes in this C2 men's first run of the heat. They're racing in the first order of their ICF World Ranking. So in theory, as we get down the order, I will start. Message for this run is for 40 competitors actually fighting for a top 15 place. If they're getting the top 15 on this run, then to the semi-finals. You should start from the young crew.
Yeah, certainly, Andy. I mean, the fact they're actually don't have a world ranking, so they must be relatively fresh to the international circuit. But certainly doing themselves proud here, and everyone wants to get behind them as quickly as finish. They're going to be posting the current lead time of 117.4, which I think, as you were saying, Andy, the faster competitors are right off near the end of this event, so we are going to see that 19, but I think only collecting 1-2 seconds penalty on the way down the course is going to be something they can be pretty proud of, I think.
Yes, the International Canoe Federation do run an international development program to encourage greater participation in smaller canoe slalom across the world, particularly outside Europe. We expand the global appeal. Canoe slalom is a fantastic sport, and tell the world about it and get everybody involved.
So next up we've got Sylvain Krikoro and Higuno X Russia. They're world ranked number 110, so they obviously managed to get a few races in this season and a bit more experience than Patrick. Whilst up at the course we've got a new crew for the British fans out there. Andy, who is it?
Ladies and gentlemen, the first British crew, it is Mark Proctor and Etienne Scott negotiating the course, so just about up under the top ridge through gate 6 and gate 7. Now, certainly have a world ranking because they're a new partnership, so Etienne Scott, who is your fellow Olympic champion in 2012, Proctor and accomplished C1 pattern, got together late on in 2014 and had a fifth place at the European Championship earlier this season. How are they doing in the top partnership?
Yeah, indeed, Andy. Mark and Etienne going off in a position that's not at all representative of their potential pace. As you say, fifth place at the Europeans this year is an absolutely fantastic result for I suppose you'd say, a relatively inexperienced crew in terms of actually paddling together, but two very, very experienced athletes and both, you know, began their partnership in absolutely peak physical conditions, so they managed to learn very quickly. And I think that the key thing with Eddie and Mark, Andy, because of their experiences from a mental point of view, they're very good at delivering their potential and races.
Well, as they come down to the bottom drop, just 3 gates down between them and the finish line. Ladies and gentlemen, let's make some noise. Mark Roxman and Etienne stop very nicely through 21, 22. It's a straight sprint to the finish. Now we thought the plans would be around about the 90 seconds for that winning time. 94.81, a big run and into the lead for Great Britain, Mark Roxman and Etienne Scott. So early on with 4 cars, it's Great Britain leading in Mark Roxman and Etienne Scott. The United States of America long and long in second. And now, moving on and C2M in third.
Yeah, so do you think, Andy, that Etienne and Mark, do you think they've done enough for us?
Well, I think it's going to be pretty solid. 94.81. I think people will go faster than that. But 15, I think, well, let's hope so. But it's a good run and it's what we need.
And now approaching the bottom drop, we've got him from the 35. It's Tyler Smith and Tad Dennis from the USA. They're racing off a world ranking of number 49 and racing some very, very fetching, colourful tactics there, Andy.
Yes, indeed. And as they approach the finish line, so into second place for Tad Dennis and Tyler Smith of the United States of America. 4 seconds penalties, 2 digits penalties. Maybe just give us a little bit more now than penalties that you can pick up on the ball. You get a 50 second.
Yeah, well, I guess the simple side of that is if the competitor hits one of the poles with any part of their equipment or their body, then they're actually awarded a 2-second penalty, and that's judged by the many qualified judges who've got the bank. So I watch it very, very closely to see what happens. Whoa, that's pretty interesting. So we've got the from a 34 there, the backman doing the crossbar, which is a very, very rare thing to see. I think it's probably the case that he's actually a C1 paddler as well, and so his instinct in that situation was to get onto his crossbar side to try and help out and discriminate. I think that's what was going on.
Well, he's in fact, he is actually rookie, he is a C1 paddler, and he's very famous actually early on in the year. He's when he snapped his paddle as he approached the start line for the Australian Championship. Unfortunately, actually negotiate the score.
And a great exhibition of his new skills as well. It's very, very hard to paddle your road without actually paddling around. So if we go back to what I was explaining before that happened, so the 2-second penalty is relatively simple. If you hit any of the balls, then you're awarded 1. A maximum of 1 penalty per gate. So then we've got the Canadian crew of Ben Hayward and Cam Lemley and finishing off their run, and probably not in the fashion they wanted to. They've actually collected a penalty, it looks like they're 21 and 22, which is their course. But if the competitors are supposed to have missed the gate completely, then that would result in them being awarded a 50-second penalty. I really don't think today that it's going to be possible to progress in either of the categories in the 50-second penalty. Of course, it does happen on occasion. Of course, it's very, very difficult, but today that just didn't happen. So, unfortunately, I think that I mentioned to the north end of the course, the
Chen Yin and Yu Hongling of the People's Republic of China. Really going there, putting a very good look into the upstream gate 20. And in terms of the early difference, they're pretty much taking second place in the early stage of the season. Across the finish line.
crew is starting to look pretty formidable. I think there's certainly quite a few boats in the long way behind them. And on course now, we've got the number 31, it's Alexis Perez and Jose Silva, all the way from Venezuela. So they've had a pretty long journey to get here, but looks like they're really enjoying the Lee Valley White waterfalls and coming down to the bottom from it. Probably one of the most exciting sections of the course out here.
I agree, particularly not only in the technical difficulty area, but also when physical the lactic acid will be building in the arms and the concentration will be tested absolutely in the Pan American Championship.
Speed is the name of the game, so 10 seconds is a massive deficit going over it on the screen, making it very difficult for itself. But now approaching the bottom half, we've got another South American crew, there's Brazilian, this number 30, we've got Pedro Mercer and Rafael D'Souza, and looking reasonably solid at this point. Perhaps not really quick enough to challenge the lead, I don't think, but certainly a very solid navigation of one section there, which getting pattern being relatively straightforward. Unfortunately, it's so powerful and it's still definitely not a formality.
Will change for those semi-finals. Each one
Continuing the global representation we have on the show today, we've got crew from Japan, flip number 29, 18, sorry, we've got Shota Sasaki and Tsubasa Sasaki. I'm going to take a punt and say they may well be brothers, but I haven't had that confirmed yet. Looks like they're doing, again, a really solid job on the bottom section. Crew's racing today on 1 minute intervals, so we're not getting to see quite complete run from anyone, but as the race progresses, it might be a little bit longer and it's going to make it better and better selecting the taker experience. So be sure to come back again over the weekend, Saturday and Sundays and final days. It's really going to be supreme racing on those stations around here.
Yes, and in the context of today's weather, I heard that the weather is going to improve day by day into the weekend, and the weather forecast for this weekend is
Russian crew of Alexis Slalom and Maxim Bratson, big number 26, and they're world rank, world rank 30th, so they've had a fairly solid World Cup season, and they're going to have to boost it to the finish there if they're going to get into the top three. What's their time looking like?
Looks like they go into second place for the International Federation. 26.87, a clean run, no penalties. So the top three has changed. It's still Great Britain, Mark Rocker and Etienne Scott leading the way. But now it's Christoph Braxon of the Russian Federation. That's the top three at the moment. There's many more groups to go here. Day one of the International Canoe Federation 2015 Canoe World Cup will be back.
Of course, at the top, we've got the next race crew. We've got Anne Burgess and Greg Big, bin number 22, and any great fans on the back who want to get behind this crew. They're very, very talented, very stylish crew. Adam's actually the under-23 world champion in the individual canoe, and here he is partnering up with Greg in the double. And they're very, very exciting crew to watch, Andy.
They've accomplished battles in not only the C2M but also the C1M great former World Junior European Junior Championship ended. Three gates on the 22 gate hole. Catching me now.
Yeah, well, they're looking fairly decent, Andy, but they have collected potentially a couple of time penalties, I think. So, yeah, that's probably not going to happen for us. But as you see, Adam and Greg going down there, characteristic style is very, very technical partners. They don't look like they're charging perhaps as much as some of the other crews. So right now they need to drop it on the way to the finish line. How's that looking, Andy?
They have been confirmed with 4 seconds of penalties, but into 6th place for Adam Burgess and Greg Pitt of Great Britain. 99.39, that includes those 4 seconds of penalties, so 95.39.4. So it is still Mark Faulkner and Etienne Scott leading the way to Great Britain and Russia. The United States crew of Casey Eichel and David McEwen now into 2nd place, and then of Scott and of
Yeah, and as we hit the halfway record in all aspects of canoe slalom. To make the French team is a huge achievement and a massive honour, and these guys, like they've done a solid job for themselves there, or maybe not actually, they're 11th, but having collected two second penalties on the way down to lead the total. When the athletes are making their plan and looking at where they want to be, there's actually many more crucial points on the way down the course where if you're not almost perfect on line, then you can lose potentially an awful lot of time. And you'll see another top crew there finishing as it does the Italian guys, and the Canoe and Ferrari have just taken a new second place, and they've closed the gap to Italy a bit there, have they? Well, yes indeed. So yes, the Italian crew of Canoe and Ferrari have got into second place. So we are 90 middle section, Andy, we've got the bronze medalists from the Beijing Olympics, because that's not on Larry and Auckland. The Russian Federation is making legal up to 16, 17, 18, and just coming into the top, and very exciting crew to watch. They like to charge hard, as I said, they're former Olympic medalists, and perhaps haven't gone on to be as successful as we were expecting after that race, but I think they have been dogged by a number of injuries, and hopefully for them they're coming back into form in time to miss the Rio Games. The World Championship last year in D3 in the United States of America, they were only 23rd, but a good run from them. It's the second place for the Canada Bushnetta, the D3 coming off the Russian Federation. Second place, but surely in a good spot ready for the definitely Andy, and they're the base of the Spanish Canoe Slalom team base in Shell in the foothills of the Pyrenees, really, just near the border of Andorra, and it was actually the fourth trip for the Barcelona Olympics in 1992, and these guys and some of the other Spanish athletes you'll see here are a great legacy from the games and that course being built, because previously the Spanish team didn't have anywhere near as good a facility, and got into 7th there, so we're probably going to need to find a group on the second one to get back now. We still have some top boats to go. And on course are the legends of canoe slalom. 3-time Olympic champion, 4-time overall Olympic medalist, 5-time world champion. It's the offshore twins that year. They have won every title there is on the ground. This is their opportunity to add that title in the course of the next few days. Yeah, Andy, and they really are technical specialists in the C2M. A big white water course like this with a very, very difficult, and you have to be incredibly precise all the way down. Is definitely their forte. I'm not sure what sort of pace they delivered there. And they cruise out to the finish line in a time of 94.86. Like just 5/100ths behind the time set by Procter & Scott, which I've got to say is looking better and better for a first run qualification.
Well, it's actually, as I say, we are now in a position we could start the first qualification. It's not artificial, but we have less than 15 votes to go in this first run of the good news for British and Mark Procter and NGS Scott provisionally qualified through to the weekend semi-final. Sean and Twins go into the second place. 4.86. Almost certainly that will take us into the semi-final for the weekend. But Tim, who's on course in the bottom here and how are they getting on?
Yeah, so we've got bib number 14 from Poland, and looks like they're on a pretty solid run. We're just going to try and see the results across the finish line. Wait for that update. So they've gone into ninth. They're going to have to wait and cross their fingers to see what happens with the following competitors, because it's likely that they're going to have to take a second run to try and qualify. Now, if you look up to the middle of the course, we've got the Muller brothers from Germany. I think they're brothers at least. And yeah, they're very accomplished crew. It's a really good races this season, and currently world ranked number 14. So they'll be expecting, or certainly hoping to qualify in the first run here. I think.
The Germans have a great record in this event, the C2M event. The German group, yes, looking tiny, and certainly looking at the early split, they were actually up at the split around in 13-14. Only by 3/100 of a second. Have they held on to that advantage, or will they go into the lead? We find out in a moment. 56.36 is your fifth place for Muller and Muller of Germany. But what that does mean at the moment, after an NGS stop, what Great Britain leading the way as we qualify through to the semi-final. That's the Russian Federation. Kuznetsov and Marinov are also through to those semis.
Yes, and up at the middle section we've got the Brzezinski brothers from Poland with number 12, and former junior world champions, and in recent years they've been making very exciting results on the senior scene as well. They were fourth in Deep Creek at the World Championships in 2014, and so they'll definitely be looking to progress in the semi-final. Let's see if they can do it off this run. Yes, a new third place, and already a definite qualification to them there in a time of 95.06. So the job well done for them, and they'll be able to relax now for a few days and sort of racing finally on Saturday.
It was a quick thing, though. Nothing to go straight through into the semi. They've got 2 days. Thinking that what will they get up to?
Well, it's an interesting question, Andy, because it does depend from athlete to athlete, and generally, all the athletes you see racing here have been on the scene and racing for a number of years, and really it's always a case of just trying to learn what works for you and refine your racecraft constantly. For myself, we used to make sure that we still paddled every day just to keep it feeling. We just go out for a gentle cruise, and usually sitting around, and then mostly you have to chill out really, try not to get too tired.
So, well, let's get back to the action. We are into the final 10 laps of this first run. Here, and the lead running one is ICF, World Championship. We look at the new boys picking out in addition is Pietro Caparese and Nicola Ferrari of Italy, also through to a semi-final. Right at the moment, 10 laps still to go. German crew of Franz Anton and Jan Mendes. Huge experience in this. Overcoasted C1M and C2M left. Almost certainly going to be featuring over the course of the 5 days.
Yeah, I expect so, Andy. They're looking very solid. technically, as you say, very, very experienced, very talented, and a solid run gets them in fourth place, and that means they have qualified for the semi-final. So I guess that's their main job for the day, Andy, but also what you think about the advantages of qualifying high up in the qualifying, so you have more chance to watch other crews in the semi-final.
That's a good point, Tim, because the athletes will race those semi-finals in the first quarter of the course. So, yes, it is a match. If you have a tricky move in that semi-final course, then it gives them a little bit more time to see how the other goes. Take it off. Now, can we go to the point drop? It is Stefanski of Poland who are up in the early split. So can they hold on to that advantage? Are we looking at the new leaders straight into the semi-final? Well, it looks like they've got a clean run in this first run. We do 9.586, so they've dropped the winner time with a 1 second, but into the 7th place and into the semi-final. So at the moment, the top 7 are into the semi-final.
Just entering the middle section of the course, we've got Robert Behring and Tom Kreger from Germany. As has been said, the Germans are very, very strong nation in C2 and actually won all 3 medals of the European Champions this year in they won gold and silver, and these guys, I believe, won the gold. So, yeah, very exciting crew, very experienced, and super tight in K1W there. The athletes will be looking to take a few strokes behind the upswing next to the can, because it's very important to get into the flow and get to the finish as quick as possible.
So they were 1.5 seconds up at the second split on the course and in at a time of 94.58. So we have two leaders, ladies and gentlemen. Robert Behring and Thomas Becker of Germany take the lead in this first run of the C2M team and take the place in the semi-final course. Another crew from France and maybe a second after leader. It's here we go. Hugo Piso of France. They were the silver medalists in the 2014 World Championship, so they'll be looking to go one better in the 2015 World Championship. How are they doing on 1 second?
Yeah, certainly Andy, they're looking very, very good. A hugely stylish crew from France. They used to be a bit uncompromising perhaps, and almost wouldn't do it if it wasn't going their way, but also in recent years they've developed more consistency and a rounder game, and just sprinting into the finish there. As they're time looking, it's another new leader for the French. They've moved the time on significantly, a 1.67 advantage from the time of 92.91. So they've definitely qualified, and I'd say they're also going to be pretty high up, so they'll also be able to make use of the advantage and see the other crews move the course in the semi-finals before they get on and have a go themselves. It's not to be underestimated advantage.
6 crews to go on this first run. 15 spots up the crowd. First run through to that semi-final and one more for the moment. Andre Karlovsky, Jakob Jone of the Czech Republic. 16th the Fastest World Championship. Very much good season for 2015, finishing 3rd overall in the World Cup Series. So technically, at the moment, it is them again. Roller and Roller of Germany, all place in the semi-final. They are in touch at the split, not the fastest, but that's not really the job today. It's all about getting through this to the semi-final. And that they have done. So Karlovsky Jone of the Czech Republic into the next place.
And now turn your heads to the middle part of the course, all the British fans particularly, because we've got David Florence and Richard Hounslow, Olympic silver medalists on this course in London 2012, and on that occasion by the fractional margin of 0.36 of a second. So really fantastically quick crew, very, very experienced on this course. They've been winning World Cup medals this year already, and they've been on pace in all of the rounds. So really we'll be looking for them to set a new benchmark, Andy, for the rest of the crews to chase.
Well, 92.91 is the time that they're chasing. 2 days stand between them and the finish line. David Florence and Richard Hounslow. They were very much in touch, and into second place for David Lawrence and Richard Hounslow of Great Britain, 93.12, a clean run, and really noticeable the top 15 runs in this heat are all clean, not many penalties.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very good point, and I think probably a reflection of the relatively straightforward nature of the course today. It's really not possible to absorb a penalty and also less penalties happening. Yeah, very exciting run from David and Richard there, and also important for them to qualify on the first run to save a little bit of energy perhaps, because they're actually both racing in two categories. Dave will be going in C1 as well, and Richard will be going in the kayak, so sure they'll be happy to get the job done and be able to rest now for the rest of the day.
So with 4 votes to go, and just coming to the finish, it is Jonas Gaspar, Marek Schindler of the Czech Republic, into third place, and also into the semi-final. And so there, they pick up a touch. So they've actually set the fastest time so far of the competition. 91.9 minutes. Second penalty though, into third place. But they will find that they're into the semi-finals. They will be into action this weekend. And now 3 votes to go. And next on course in the middle section is the world champions of 2014.
Certainly is, Andy. It's Luka Bozic, Sato Taujan from Slovenia, and actually, you know, before the race we were predicting some 90 times. There's only 2 crews left, and at the moment no one's got too close to it. Andy, it's going to be interesting to see if anyone can find a 3-second boost. I'm thinking for the quality of the crews that have been already, and the fact that there's not too much in the course, it's probably unlikely now, but if anyone's going to be able to do it, then these last 3 crews are the ones to try, and we're just about to find out how the Slovenians have done. They take a new third place, another very quick time, 93.69, and another clean run, so very high quality of delivery here from the C2 category.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are watching the best athletes in the world here at the Lee Valley Awards. Day 1 of the ICF Canoe World Championship. And we're ready for the action. And 2 votes to go in this first run. And it is Skantar, Ladislav Skantar, Peter Skantar of Slovakia. Multiple European champion, bronze medalist and last year's world champion. Very much contenders in this race, and will very much be contending for that Olympic spot for Slovakia against the legendary Russian.
Yeah, definitely, Andy. I really would like to be the Skantar medal rack, because it's just incredible job. They've won so many medals over the years, and there we see them going into a new third place, so that's a time of 93.51. Times sat very, very closely together now, and probably again from the course we learned to be straightforward, but French crew on course now, and they're going to be the ones to potentially take a new lead.
Yes, and then the World Cup champions of 2015, ICF World Rank number 1. And I think there's some unfinished business for this crew. They finished 4th at the London 2012 Olympic Games on this course. It is about 48,000 Mathieu Mesh of France. And they've certainly been in form this season. And I would say very much tipped to be key contenders for that world title over the course of the weekend. 1 more gate to go, and they were steady up on the middle split. So have they maintained that advantage into first place for 48,000 Mathieu Mesh of France, and into the semi-final. So provisionally, the results from the first run of the men's C2 event. The top 15 go through to the semi-final on Saturday. We'll give you a rundown.
So in first place we've got Klaus and Pesh from France, and time of 92.63, and you saw there at the bottom, fantastically tight into K1W, which is the sort of level of detail and the amount of risk they're going to take to try and get those small fractions of time. Second place we've got another French crew of Pico and Biso, again a very, very fast time, 92.91, and then in third we've got the first of our British crews, David Florence and Richard Hounslow. Olympics have read this on the course, and they both did like 93.12.
So the top 15 go through to the semi-final.
mean, I don't know about surprises, Andy, because there are literally more very fast crews and very high quality boats in the space for in the semi-finals. So some people are always going to miss out, but certainly from a British perspective, we've got Greg and Adam sitting in 26th provisionally, and sure they'll be hoping to improve and grab a place in the semi-final. We certainly know that they've got the pace to do that. There's also just outside the bubble in 16th at the moment, there's the Mullers from Germany, there's Ewing and Eichfeld of the US, and Kutlov and Bratsov of the Russian Federation. So yeah, and then there's the Czech boys there, Koplek and Brown. You would expect them to make it through to the semi.
Indeed, so still a bit of work to be done for some of the crews here. Some can really now turn their attention to the sharp end of racing, Olympic qualification, and also World Championship. Take place in the C2M event on Saturday. Tickets still available, so if you haven't got them yet, you can still either buy them today or buy them online, or you can get them already. Still some action to go in the C2M event. The remaining people that haven't yet qualified for the semi-final, they race in second row. They all start from zero. Only 5 places up the ground. Don't forget to keep engaging. Hashtag #SlalomWorld. Send us your pictures, send us your questions. Very, very shortly will be the first run of the women's one. Of course, this event, Jim. How many people will progress through on the first run?
So on this run, Andy, if it's looking the top 20, you'll be progressing quite immediately. So that's what we think for the people, for the athletes, and really within that, the athletes will be looking to finish as high as they can again, so that when it comes to the semi-final, if you're starting later in the category, then you've got more opportunity to watch the athletes in front of you, see what they're doing as a coach, see what's working well, and you know, which bits are too risky to take on, or what's the fastest option. So yeah, top 20 is the goal, but really you want to finish as high up as you possibly can.
Bailey for keeping us informed here in the C2 men's category. My name is Kevin McHugh, and along with Tim Bailey, I'll be keeping you updated with all the scores for this K1W category. Just looking through this start list, we have 33 nations represented. Just a reminder that the intensive semi-final and final, all the top 15 nations qualify to place the Rio Stage 1 Olympic qualifications. That's come on Saturday. In the meantime, there will be 30 K1 ladies qualifying for the semi-final. Not 20 of those races will be decided on the first run. Then you've got a chance to look through the start list. Who can you see being on top after the first run?
Well, it's going to be very interesting, Kev. I mean, the women's field is absolutely stacked, and with British Slalom being a very unpredictable and changeable sport, it's very hard to say who's actually going to stand out. But certainly we've got 3 British girls racing who are looking to deliver very strong performances. And the first of those is going to be Liz Keith, who's might vote off, racing a bit 59, and that's a completely unreflective of her actual potential in this race. She's racing so early because she actually missed almost all of last season due to injury. So yeah, that's going to be a very interesting one to look out for. And similarly to Eddie and Mark in the C2s, it's probably going to give us a very early indication on the pace.
Talking about pace, Tim, you watch all the C2 men's category. Some of the suggestions that might go on with 19 seconds. We didn't see that in the first one of the qualification. You see 90 seconds being broken for some of these time ladies.
Well, I don't know, Kev. I think quite possibly not. Maybe our predictions would be incorrect on this occasion because, like we were discussing earlier, with the course being relatively straightforward in terms of options. I mean, it's still very difficult to actually navigate the screen, but because there not too many options, and I would expect some pickups and really touch with the women's kayak. And the ones the C2 guys delivered there, they were a lot of lead runs and a lot of fast runs. So very tightly packed, sort of top five or 10 suggests it was a really high quality delivery.
The other thing I'm going to look forward to is the fact that with this new qualification system of weighting, automatic coding, and manual, and all of these templates, getting places in the second month, it really seems to tighten up that second month competition. I was speaking to other coaches out there in the same C2M category. Kind of tight on the second month, like this. It's very, very tight. So we look forward to some exciting racing with qualification. Arguably, it's that second round of qualification where it could be one night.
Yeah, definitely, Kev. It's very, very exciting. It gives a really positive development from the ICF, changing the way qualified works this way. And I think it's going to be tight in both categories, and certainly, like you say, with only 5 crews to do on seconds available to progress, then that makes for very tight racing, very exciting racing, and well, that's what we like to see. So here we've got crew number 6 and 6 there coming into the bottom block. Who have we got?
Yeah, so the first of our kayak ladies come down. First of our kayak ladies put a score of 5. Pardon me, picked up 267 so far. So quite a few 50s in there, so I think it's safe to say she won't be progressing on the second run. So we're still waiting for someone to come down and do a really competitive first run score, somewhere in the low 90s. Would be the finish line is earlier on the first of our competitors from Paraguay. Anna. Pardon me, Gian Samrao from Morocco, doing in a time of 122 seconds. So, just to keep you up to speed, we're looking at times in the 90s if we're going to be in the top 20 after the first run.
And on course now, representing the People's Republic of China, we've got Yamaru Zhu. Having to hold on K20 a little bit there, then maybe tight around the pole. I think some of the Chinese athletes we saw racing in C2 were much faster than their world ranking would make you expect, I think, because they had to be tested on the World Cup series. So this could be a early pace run again. And it is a new leader, a time of 104.07 with one time elevated for a number 106.07. So as Kev was just saying, that's probably perhaps won't be enough to get into the top 20, but I think it's the first marker of the sort of times that we're going to be looking at.
Yes, and so our current race leader from China, People's Republic of China, Yan Ru Zhu, 106 seconds, leading second penalty. 2 will be the first of these kayak ladies locally, and 2 will be the first of these kayak ladies put in a time under 100 seconds.
Well, on course at the moment, Kev, representing Kazakhstan, we've got Ekaterina Suyanoga, who's been racing on the circuit for a few years now and improving year on year. I think there's a massive Canoe Slalom scene in Kazakhstan, so it's quite difficult for the athletes to make the improvements, and got to come aboard to find the race series and also see what people are doing. Very exciting time though up at Team 16 now. We've got Marianne Saber from Norway, and Marianne's actually a fantastically brave big white water paddler, so she won't be at all intimidated by what's happening to her, and she actually was a capsizing gate 18 there again.
Yeah, that wasn't a stopper in the oval section. I think it's fair to point to really doing our no favours at all there. Very quick NCO roll, safely in K20. Certainly this competitor from Norway has made the semi-finals in the final World Cup of the year. So our new race leader. He's finished outside our race leader time. New from China, 106 seconds. Sater is into second place with 114 seconds. Just a quick reminder for all the spectators, there's plenty of activities happening on site. I've just been down to the expo area myself. The exhibitors are down there. Opportunity to look at the latest kayaks and kayaking equipment. Opportunity to build your own whitewater course. It's actually a model trip. A rapid block model where you can adjust the bricks, set up your own scale. Any modding designers out there can have both that.
Yeah, that sounds awesome, Kev. I'll definitely get down there myself. I used to actually love making little rapids out of stones, but for the British fans on the bank now, we've got a very, very exciting one. Lizzie Neave beginning her charge at the top of the course, expecting us to come on the bridge soon, and Kev, we're really hoping for a new lead for Lizzie here.
Yeah, I think that we've already speculated, Tim. We can expect her challenge to break that 100-second barrier. The race leader remains Yang Ruizu from the People's Republic of China, 106.07 seconds. Looks like she's stringing together a very controlled run out there, Tim.
Yeah, definitely Lizzie, originally from the south of the Stone Canoe Club, but she's living down here, a real local to the course since 2011, and we talk about time advantaging new Slalom Kev, but it really is a very real factor.
Absolutely. I think we certainly saw that with the likes of Mark Proctor and Eddie Scott in the C2 category. And now we're seeing it with Lizzie Neave as she approaches this final drop along the course. Great support from the crowd out there. It makes such a difference to the athletes.
And super tight into gate 20 from Lizzie there. She just cruised around the drop like it was nothing, keeping her about completely on top of the water on Tony Knight. Charging to the finish line, and what's her time going to be?
We have a new race leader, Lizzie Neave, 93.96 seconds and no penalties. Lizzie, I think if you need stuff away for the day, you have done enough.
I would check the results before you finish up way down Lizzie, because it has been wrong on occasions, but that's certainly a very, very dominating performance from Lizzie Neave, and when you compare that time to what we saw posted in the C2M, I'd say that's definitely going to be in touch with the top of the race. Next on the course, we've got Sofia Reynoso from Mexico, so another South American competitor making the flight, I imagine, or I hope for her sake, over to Great Britain to come out and tap on the Lee Valley Whitewater course here, and I'm obviously not impartial and completely biased, but I do believe that the Valley Whitewater course is the best whitewater course in the world, so the Canoe Slalom athletes sitting there, they're being treated with some amazing experiences racing a continuous, difficult and exciting whitewater course.
Yeah, you're talking about legacy from the Olympics here, then we're certainly a legacy here. There's been a few whitewater courses that have created a lifelong legacy of the course from the particular Augsburg in Germany, like in the 1972 Olympics. So many great races there, so many world championships there over the years. Seen that already, Lee Valley, seen it with Ken Rickles, Australia, like in 2008.
aspect of canoe slalom. Again, it's a very, very variable sport. It depends on the right water course and also on the big pattern that's set on the day. So huge amount of variety, and for any kids and young people and even older people and adults who are fancying a new pastime or a new hobby, I'd definitely recommend canoe slalom. And if you live total local to the course here, then you have such a fantastic facility to start with, and I definitely wholeheartedly recommend getting involved. And as you see there, Kev, good number.
Well, Tim, we'll just take a quick rundown. We have 67 ladies national starting today. And then we've got 15 of the rest on top one of the semi-final. In pole position for Great Britain was the very competitive line, 93.96 seconds. So it's going to have a solid wait before we know if that's good enough. But Tim, as a betting man, I will eat my hat if that time of 93 seconds isn't quick enough for us to make the semi-final.
It's such a shame to eat that hat there, Kev. It's such a fashionable, stylish thing. Yeah, okay. I'll let you interact with it.
So today's ranking list, obviously in world ranking order, there are a few exceptions to that. As we talked about earlier, really our ranking doesn't do our pace justice. You can see what you get some injury, but on course now, we have the first of our American competitors. Tim, you're a bit cunning, let's have a go at this one, bit number 54.
Okay. From America, we've got Anna Maria Green. And she's ranked number 87. And, representing the United States of America.
She picked up a few penalties and got back to the course. 8 seconds on the penalty so far, you make the section. Next up, though, Tim, we have an interesting competitor. Someone who's seen the compete with multiple years, and someone else who's maybe not ranking, going to the department of fitness.
Absolutely, we'll have Maria Canoe from Greece. Very experienced paddler, and we'll be happy for exciting life with her. Tired by the wall, but she'll be really paddling as aggressively as she can to navigate the course directly. There's such a different wall here, Kev, even the relatively straightforward day pad. It's neat to stay 11, and that's one of the key aspects of the red day tonight, Kev.
Absolutely, Tim. I think that the course designers have certainly set a very fair and very predictable course for all the athletes. The weather and playing ball as well. We see the poles are nice and steady, so that makes for very clear racing. Long list of wins. So fingers crossed to say certainly forecast for the weather to improve today and over the days going on towards the final Saturday and Sunday. Tim will give us an update on how our Mac lady from Greece is doing.
Well, just until you pass over, Kev, she was doing really well, but unfortunately it looked like she might have gone some difficulty between 17 and 18. She got sucked into one of the most powerful throttle waves on her sport there. And this was a quick update for anyone that isn't the canoe slalom fan already. We talk about a soccer wave, it's a white wave that you see on the course there, when they're braking and the water goes back upstream. And very crucial part of canoe slalom racing, and really always been trying to avoid getting stuck in them. You want to jump over them or glance around the side of them, but anything to avoid getting stuck in the hole.
Just an update with number 53, Marina Cuda from Greece. 52nd penalty in the third of day 18. She's going to almost certainly have to rely on her second run for the second place. Up next, representing Japan, Yoshida Ito. No penalties so far, Tim. Did she challenge for a top three?
Well, I think she's definitely good there. She's sprinting to the finish. She's only 5 seconds behind the in the split, so
as we were suggesting earlier, as the higher world length paddlers come down, we'll see the margin start getting closer and closer. So we have a change to our top three. Remaining race leader, Elizabeth Lee from Great Britain. Second place, Shige Iko from Japan. And third place, Yanru Zhu from the People's Republic of China.
And of course, at the middle, we've got Jasmine in Holland, Canada. She's actually the Pan Am champion of 2015, which was a really tight race held at Minden earlier this year. And Jasmine triumphed on that day by, I think, just 100 of a second. Doing girl Anna Silitilla, who was in second place. So fantastic tight racing with that attention. And see what Jasmine managed to do today.
Yes, then showing your knowledge of Canadian kayak ladies, you can have a great deal of knowledge in the category. 50-second penalty for Jasmine from Canada. 8-10, Stefan Walker. Now we'll top 20 positions. Safe to say. No change in our top three. Lee first, Ito second, Zhu in third.
Coming down into gate 20 and super neat into gate 20 we've got Hannah Craig representing Ireland. Hannah was an Olympic finalist at the race here in Trent and since then taken a little bit of time out to have a child on a low rise back on form and how's that run looking at? Oh, it's a new second place.
And sub 100 seconds, 99.04, including the 2-second penalty. Anna Craig from Ireland goes into second. So our top three, Lee in first, Craig in second, and Ito in third. Our race leader is Lizzie Lee with a time of 93.96 seconds. So, as these higher milestones come down, we're starting to see more and more changes in these top three positions. So far, we've got two kayak ladies under 100 seconds. You're an expert on Canadian kayak women. What can you tell us about this Canadian paddler who's getting into third place?
Okay, it's a great paddler. She's young and up and coming and very exciting paddler. I think a pretty solid run from her there and see if that's going to be good enough for the top 20 after first runs.
Yeah, just looking at that, there's a 6-second spread between first and third place as it stands right now. So I think we can expect to see that second up as the higher ranking experts come down. On course now with John Ukraine. I believe it's the first of our Ukrainian competitors. Victoria Cruz. No penalties so far, and she stops the clock, 97.5 seconds. Second place, we have another change in the top three. Lee remains in first, Goose in second, and Craig in third. K1 women's class continues, no change in the top three. Lee in first, Goose in second, Craig in third. We have a change to that top three. Craig from Ireland warm welcome on site to Baden Boys Primary School. If you can hear us, give us a wave, Baden Boys Primary School. Good to see you. Now I expect to see you all cheering really loudly when any of these British folks come down the course. If Kimberly Wood's up next, and following her, of course, we've got Fiona Penny.
Many of them as possible, we're getting a shot at the Fly Canoe themselves. We get the Canoe coming fly at 10 over in the next to the Expo Village. So yeah, if you're here on site, make sure you get around and visit all the different places in between the racing. There's an awful lot of cool stuff to see to do. To add what Kev was saying earlier, if anyone would like to cheer from all our international friends as well as the British competitors, then that's very nice thing to do as well. Next on the board, we've got Ella Nicholas representing the Cook Islands. It's going to get 18. Ella's going to be no stranger to this course at all, having competed here for the Olympics in 2012. Yeah, very accomplished international paddler, having traveled extensively and also, I believe, just about to qualify for Oscar, so very busy one indeed. But we should go to charges to finish there. How's the time looking?
Well, there's no that she's done enough inside the top three. Ella Nichols from the Cook Islands stops the clock 115 seconds, including 4 seconds from the penalty. So, I think it's probably safe to say she's in 12th place. She will be looking towards her second run. Very competitive at the top of the course, but obviously in final of 4 and long. And Lewinsky goes into 8th place. So no change in our top 3. That remains even first. Goose in second. Dirks in third. Just a reminder for everyone that's new to the site, there's lots of activities for you to do, and the majority of them are absolutely free for nothing. You do not have to put your hand in the pocket at all. Tim, you're always interested in free activities. What kind of free activities are out there?
Yeah, I absolutely love free stuff here. And Andy just passes the thing, I'll be able to tell you what there is. So there's a bouncy castle for any of our young canoe slalom fans who want to go bounce around. Or even old people that like bouncing. I think it's a different activity young and old, and I'm getting into that. There's a trampoline as well, so more bouncing. There's a climbing wall, and I think the opportunity for climbing a new range from sort of beginner to previously difficult, which does seem like a principal attraction of climbing, so that's good for everyone. There's also a McGregor exhibition, which is an exhibition historically about canoes, and that's great as well. Various different equipment manufacturers. You know earlier about the Happy Water stand, where you can build your own mini canoe slalom course. I think that's probably only one person at a time, but it's great. We've got over 600 kids over the 5 days. They're going to come along and try to do potentially for the first time at the Go Canoeing aircraft. There's actually still space for water. If you're on site today, don't worry about it. Just head along and ask, and hopefully you can have a shot. If you're not already on it, hopefully you will be soon. And on that, there's various food outlets, drink outlets, I believe there's a bar. I'm not sure any of that's free unless you're alive there at the same time as Kev, because he has generally offered to, generously I should say, offered to buy anybody food and drink as long as they arrive at exactly the same time as him. I've also heard that Olympic silver medalists from Athens and multiple World Championship medalists, as well as the European champions from Mexico in 2009, I think it was, is going to be putting down a time on the Canoe ergo. That's Campbell Walsh, fantastic British time, and he could set a benchmark that everyone else had the opportunity to challenge. Do you fancy go that, Ken?
Just thinking, surely, one Olympic silver medal is head-to-head. Who would you want to be on, Tim? Who's in best shape, you or Campbell?
Well, I was going to say, I'm afraid Ethics is a busy racing, but he won't be able to do an ergo challenge. But yeah, no, I can guarantee Campbell is definitely in the top one. From 18 to I'm not tracking but Holly, your
Still leading in first place. I think we'll have to save today. 93.96 seconds in this lead in first place. Second place, I think, for Anatoly Boost from Ukraine, 97.5 seconds. And in third place is Dan Dirk from the Netherlands, 98.93 seconds. Simple just scanning away down the start list. And there's a few other factories that jump out as having quite low world rankings. Potentially some of the fastest goals on the course. Who's jumping out here as our next potential leading challenger for the winning?
well, I think there's potentially two there. There's certainly one for sure. We've got Kimberly Woods, who's the young British hope, and producing some absolutely phenomenal pace at the selection series, making the team earlier this year. And again, for all the British athletes racing on your home course is always a bit of an advantage. On top of that, racing in front of the home crowd is always a nice boost. So we'll be looking for Kimberly to hopefully close the time. We've also got Tom Lee from the People's Republic of China. And like I was saying earlier, I don't think the Chinese team have tested too many of the World Cups over the last years. So some of their athletes' world rankings won't necessarily be representative of the pace that they're taking on today. So that's probably going to be a key run to look forward to in the next race.
Of course, even the Republic of China doesn't just have the Beijing Olympic course, just gets probably successful from class on large training on a full-time basis. So we wouldn't get so surprised to see a lot of these athletes from the People's Republic making their way into the semi-finals. Still, all part of these is to change the top three. Tim, who have we got in second place?
So new second place is Aki Miyazawa from Japan. And managed to do a total of 97.32, and that's one time penalty. So obviously I think it's good. Okay, so one-time penalties trying to in that three. I think that's due to powerfulness of the weight or just looking at the box to do
I think you're right, we haven't looked at the top end. No doubt that we'll see, I would expect it at least the top 5 going or more. But also the fact that with 35 ladies going through it, gives it a greater margin, a greater, sorry, more easy to count out. Whereas only 20 C2s going through, it makes it incredibly competitive. Only 5 C2s going to top semi-final or second limit. It's such competitive racing. You see that where we're running the team in the World Cup series.
developing over the prototypes for 6 to 7 years. Once athletes are allowed to double up, that definitely increases the competitiveness of the categories. Obviously, one doubling up very competitively. And now we've got the athlete I mentioned earlier representing us. We've got K1W and let's see what kind of schedule along. It's certainly going fast.
Lee goes into 4th place then. Holy, he was recorded 4th place with 98.75 seconds. That means that currently our top 6 athletes are all under 100 seconds. Starting to get increasingly competitive. Lindsay Neave is still out there with a solid lead of over 80 seconds in 1st place. Second place, Aki Miyazawa from Japan. 3rd place, Ukraine. Reminder that you can tweet it using Slalom World, and if you tweet us a good one message for anyone you're supporting, we'll do our best to get up on the next screen for you. And we'll hope to get a mention as well. So today when you click the one to support, hashtag it with Slalom World. Tim, it's time for the British supporters to make some noise. Who have we got on course?
It definitely is, Kev. We've got Kimberly Woods representing Great Britain. Sweet stroke up sweeping K1W, so she's clearly in the mood for a fast run. She's a junior silver medalist from the Junior World Championships in 2013 and absolutely smashed away onto the senior team this year with some very, very commanding performances in the selection series. Looking solid with the tricky sequence 17-18 now. I'm excited to see what she's got in May 20 here.
Well, she's 1.2 seconds down on the time set by Lizzie Neave, so she is provisionally in second place as she pulls out of this final breakout. Great support from the crowd here as she makes her way through the last game. Make some noise for Kimberly Woods. Picked up 1 2-second penalty, Tim, and she stops the clock. 98.65 seconds. Good enough for fourth place. Is it good enough for a place in the semi-final, Tim?
That's a good question, Kev. We're going to have to wait and see. I'm going to guess yes. But definitely throw your finger when you're testing this and see how it looks. It's going to be an interesting race. The next athlete we've got
From Italy is Maria Clara Biafron, someone we're all familiar with seeing racing over the years. She's certainly been closing into gate 16, Tim. Got 4.3 seconds down on the split line, so she won't be challenging our race leader Lizzie Neave, and she's challenged for a top 3 performance, Tim.
very interesting, Kev. I think it's going to be interesting to see where the cut-off is on first runs and what time we need to lead Kev.
We'll just wait for our score to come up 10 minutes. Fourth place for Maria Clara Biafron from Italy. 98.37 seconds, fourth place. No change in our top 3. Neave first, Yataka in second, and Foos in third. Quick reminder to everyone to get on the smartphones and hashtags. Hashtag Slalom World. Send us your good luck messages, send us a question, and I'll ask them to answer.
We do actually have Andy Bannon's rapid fire of slalom results up here, so if anyone does want to tweet us any sort of new slalom trivia from the past probably 20 years, then we should be very well equipped to answer any questions. Next up we've got Alison Burrows representing Australia, racing at number 32, she's looking to beat around mid 16 and surfing out to try and squeeze through the very tricky gut saga of 17-18. So very interesting good character. I think probably it's essential to use a little bit of something there to get 3-17-18, but you certainly don't want to go for the surf.
I certainly need to know for sure. Yeah, in the fastest lane, it's just off the back of the slow roll, like the last section, you can see a bit up to there, and a huge strong left-hand lane from North. Alison Burrows make her way to the finish. She has picked up 4 seconds on the penalty so far, and she certainly won't be challenging for a top 3 finish. She goes into 18th place with 111.49 seconds. So, Alison Burrows currently in 18th place, right in the bubble. She's going to qualify for semi-finals for her first one performance. Semi-full course now is a pass paddler, we're both familiar with. We've seen her paddle for Slovakia in the past. Who is she representing this weekend?
Yeah, representing the United States of America, we've got Lana Man, formerly Donna Dennis-Over. She's the younger sister of Matthew Dennis, who we see in events tomorrow. Very, very talented paddler there, but it looks like she's going to be right.
Yeah, Tim, I'm just looking down at her split times and penalties. She has a 2-second penalty in gate 8, but 11.5 seconds down on Lindsay Neave, so Lindsay Neave is sitting pretty still at the top of the leaderboard. Dana Man won't be challenging her. Another 2-second penalty for Man. If she stops the clock from 111.47 seconds, 18th place. So, our top three remains unchanged. Neave in first, Zawa in second, Hoos in third.
And on 4 seconds, in 16, we've got Violetta opening our features, the bronze medalist from the Beijing Olympics. She's a European champion in 2007 and multiple European World Cup and world medalists. Very, very experienced team for them.
Absolutely, and we've seen her husband racing captain as well, so very competitive training group in that family house. Just keep an eye on the clock. Tim, what's happening?
She was 4 seconds down at the split and she collected a 2-second down right in front of the course, but she still goes into 5th place with a total of 98.5 points. So we're starting to see a bit of a congregation around the 97 to 99 area. We've got 7 or 8 athletes sitting there at the moment, and the current leader, this lead, still 3 seconds out in front. So yeah, your hand looks safe at this point, Kev, and I think perhaps we can see that the bubble might be developing around the 98, 97 seconds there.
Well, Tim, I'm going to show off my mathematical genius. As soon as we see Anna the Brazil comes out, we'll know whether Lindsay Neave and Great Britain is well enough to be in the final. Because remember, it's the top 20 out of the first one to the crucial semi. Anna Cecilia is 20th, and it comes out.
I think that actually is when we see the former Olympic champion Elena Gliska come down, then we'll know whether what's wrong with friends. So yeah, certainly once we get into the final 20 rounders, then things will get very exciting because every vote in that fight will be racing, and we'll know instantly when they finish potentially whether they've qualified.
Yeah, so only about 5 minutes to wait before we start to get these semi-final slots confirmed. On course now we have Ekaterina Farova from Russia. Quite a strong Russian team here, Tim. Russian Federation team. Coach, of course, the two well-known coaches in the world. One of them you know particularly well.
Definitely our coach from the London coaching the Russian team, as well as the ex-race paddler Johnny Sheridan, and also some of the homegrown Russian Federation coaches. You can see Katerina racing there, she's stopped the clock.
Yeah, Tim, she stopped the clock on 100.89 seconds, including a 2-second penalty. So nipping under that 1-second barrier with that 2-second penalty counting against her. She's into 13th place. It's 13th place for Farova. Up next, though, we have the sister of Ekaterina, is that safe to say?
Yeah, we definitely do, Kev. It's Alexandra Farova, two sisters from the Russian Federation, actually world ranked 33rd and 34th respectively. So very, very closely matched this team on recent form. Alexandra's looking on a good one. She's gone out a fraction early on things when we had to just taken on the floor, but has managed to squeeze through the somewhat benign looking, but also potentially very tricky 21-22 and just finish and stop the clock.
New third place. Alexandra Farova did it in third place with 97.43 seconds. So our top three is even first, 93.96. Yazawa in second, and Farova in third. We have a few minutes to wait now before we get some of these semi-final places confirmed. Who have we got next to?
Well, of course, it's a rally from Spain, another paddler who's based in Ceuta,
start to come down later on in this lady's path field. So, as we watch the clock stop, Qualifications was into 11th place with 99.11 seconds. So, the top 10 is now starting to get tighter and tighter as we get these ironic pathers down the course. Brazil, second place, 95.63 seconds. So look at our running time, it includes a 2-second penalty. So Silla and Lizzie Lee, the only two athletes have done a 93-second running time. Great athlete from that Brazilian paddle. It strikes me that every time you see Silla paddle, it's a little more forward and obviously keeps getting faster and faster.
Because that was, well, undoubtedly a fast run, and in fact, the fastest run today so far. And now, one of the youngest athletes in the field, and probably one of the most experienced, we've got Lena Cliskers, 2004 and 2008 Olympic champion, and racing now to try and qualify for the Rio Olympics, lasting to the finish.
Yeah, Tim, I'll be watching how she progresses. She picked up 4 seconds worth of penalties on top of the course. A running time of 94.37 seconds from Kleska. This girl might be experienced, but boy, is she still got some pace in those arms. Kleska was into 8th place, so 4 seconds worth of penalties drops her down from a potential top 3 down to 8th place. Our top 3 is Neven first, Silla in second, and Yuzanova from the Czech Republic.
And that means that Lizzie Lee has now definitely qualified for the semi-final, which is being used in the British Marathon time today, and also for Lizzie herself, obviously. Next on the course, bid number 19, that's Lu Li, the Republic of China. Early lead in the event 20, she's got 2 gates to go, Chad. The green gates, they're almost a straight line, but it's now as big as ever in the water at this point.
Yeah, so we'll find out in a few seconds. We'll get to Silla, the second one in the final. And Li from China was into 3rd place, 96.54 seconds. Great time from Lu Li from the People's Republic. So that means we have the first 2 of our qualifiers for the semi-final. Congratulations, Lizzie Lee. Congratulations, Anna Silla. Your work today is done.
Yeah, and sadly for everyone there, we're not going to have to eat your hat. So, though obviously these results are provisional, so it's something that I will have to come in from not here, with number 18, we've got Lisa Leitner from Austria, a young athlete who's been posting some very fast times in the music there, and interesting to see what she's got here on the first.
Absolutely. Already seen her with a few steps from Austria across the finish line. Lisa Leitner was into 4th place, 96.68 seconds. Tim must have been listening to you. They heard you say 97 more faster, and they're doing exactly what you tell them.
Yeah, that's it there. I obviously gave the game away, and now the yeah, it certainly is developing. It's a very, very close race for this first round of qualifying. The times are all stacking in. There's some consecutive athletes there, sneaking in front of the number 7 barrier. It'll be tough for everyone to maintain that. And of course, now another exciting battle again.
Absolutely, Tim. We saw a race here in 2012 London Olympics. Spending every summer based in Britain, of course, we worked in with some we don't know well at Capital Walsh. It is, of course, Lucas Jones from New Zealand. Lucas picked up a 2-second penalty. Will gain 8 after 2 games on the top of the course. Lucas crosses the finish line in a time of 97.51 seconds. It's good enough for 8th place.
And looking upstream to gate number 14, we've got the next British athlete. We've got Fiona Penny on course. Fiona's a 2-time previous silver medalist at the Senior World Championship level and has capable of absolutely phenomenal pace. And also, she's living local to this course since 2011. So hopefully, Kevin, she's going to learn pretty well.
Time for all those British Canoe Slalom fans to make some noise! Fiona Penny, 2.5 seconds down on that second split time. That does include a 2-second penalty tip. I think we are looking at a time under 97 seconds. Am I right or am I right?
Well, I really hope you're going to be right. She charged into the finish. You're just waiting for the clock to stop. It's whoa, absolutely phenomenal time. 91.74, the fastest time by a significant margin today. And the new lead.
Now look at that. That's a familiar picture in the 2012 course. Britain and second. Have you ever seen that before, Tim?
Yeah, I mean, it's a very special day then. We're hoping for 4 special days to break Britain over the coming days at the World Championship. Yeah, it will be fantastic. Going forward using that sort of training for that.
So just a quick rundown for you. We have the following boats confirmed as qualified for the semi-final. And in current ranking order, Fiona Penny is qualified in first place, followed by Lizzie Lee, Anna Satilla, Li Lu from China, and Lisa Leitner from Austria. So congratulations to those 6 kayak ladies who were confirmed in the semi-final. We look forward to seeing you racing on Saturday. And we have a change to the top 3. Going into 3rd place is Marta Karatanova. Obviously there's been an inquiry on her time and one of the penalties must be taken off. So however, Tim, that does mean that Veronika Wojtova from the Czech Republic is qualified for the semi-final. So we know who 7 of our 20 kayak ladies who qualified this from are so far. Those 7 ladies are Penny, Lee, Kastanova, Satilla, Lee, Leitner, and Wojtova. They are all confirmed in the semi-final. Tim, we were suggesting that 97 might be the magic number. Having watched these spots and kayak ladies come down, we've still got quite a few of the higher rank paddlers to come. We think a time of 97 seconds will be quick enough for the top 20. Another fast time was in by Eva Terschel from Slovenia, 93.53 seconds, plus 4 seconds worth of penalty. The time of 97 seconds gives her 12th place. She'll be second in the double, qualified after the first run. That means that our current confirmed paddlers are Aki Izawa from Japan. You are now confirmed in the semi-finals. Congratulations to you.
We've got Melanie Pfeiffer from Germany wearing the distinctive German team helmet and supported on the back by her teammates running down. It's very, very accomplished paddler. Melanie. She's at the World Cup and European Championship medals and she's looking for a team and things like that.
Yeah, I'm just looking down. She has picked up a 2-second penalty in gate 12. Her running time was pretty competitive. Has she done enough?
It looks like she definitely has, Kev. It's a very quick time, 92.82, one of the fastest times we've seen today, and one touch moving her back into the 4th
currently sitting right on that bubble tennis. Alexandra Karova from the Russian Federation. She's sitting in 11th place. Will she be in the semi-final after first round, or will it be our current competitor on the court? Race bit number 10, who have we got there?
Number 10, we've got Marta Martinez, another Spanish paddler, once again based in the small town of CSL. This course is an awful lot bigger than the one saying, but the good thing about the course is it's got very good technical skills. Marta stopped the clock, a total of 98.82, which is looking like it might be outside there.
Yeah, sitting in 20th place with a time of 98 seconds. So, I think it's safe to say, Tim, your prediction is going to have to be some 97 if you want to guarantee a place in semi-final on this first run. On course next, we have another very experienced paddler. Tim, I have lost count of the amount of World Championships, the amount of Olympic Games medals, the amount of European Games medals this lady has won. Who have we got?
Yeah, we've got Stefania over Canada, true legend of the sport of Canoe Slalom. She's the Olympic champion from 1996 and 2000, and a world champion previously in 99 and 2000. So very, very fast, very experienced. She's on her charge to the finish.
Yeah, just looking at her split time, she was 3/4 of a second faster on the second split, but lost a bit of that. Helvetova was into 20th place, 98.77 seconds. Great run from Helvetova, but it's only good enough for 20th place. She's now sitting on the bubble.
On course now, we've got one of the young tech paddlers who's really slowing on to the senior team in recent years. Good number 8, Katerina Kudova, take for very, very fast pace, coached by Neely Kristovic, and the need to do the final next there, Kev. As soon as the finish is going.
Yeah, we'll wait for her times to win, and as we do, we can confirm that Luca Jones from New Zealand is in the semi-final after first run. So that means the sitting on the bubble right now is Eva Tershel from Slovenia. Eva Tershel's time of 97.53 seconds is the new cut-off. You need a time of 97.53 or faster if you want to be in the semi-finals after the first run. So just updating you there, we have a change in the top 3. New first place competitor is Katerina Kicheva from the Czech Republic, 92.928 seconds. New race leader from the Czech Republic.
Yeah, not the fastest line from Katerina there, but showing the importance of going clean and not collecting any time penalties. And just finishing now, we've got Eva Tersel from Slovenia. She's going to mix things up.
Well, looking at her time is 96.05 seconds. It's good enough for 8th place and good enough for a place in the semi-final. And it includes 4 seconds worth of penalties. She is fast, but a little bit dirty out there. She's looking to tidy up for the semi-final.
Okay, and on course is gate number 16. We've got a very, very accomplished paddler from France, and also one who I'm sure has got a very soft spot for this course in London. The Olympic champion from London 2012, Emily Fair, has had a pretty strong time since then as well, Kev.
Look at the split time step. Emily Fair, 2 seconds up on the split. She is smashing this out of the park. We are looking at a new potential race leader. And her stops the clock, 90.95 seconds. New race leader, Emily Fair from France. We will see you on Saturday.
It's giving me some faith, Kev, that perhaps our joint prediction of a sub-90-second winning time perhaps the time runner actually deliver that for us today, because certainly the C2 race was a slight disappointment from that point of view, and yeah, the women's race here is shaping up to make it seem absolutely possible. And Eileen Sharon, who was a bronze medalist from the London Olympics, so another athlete who I'm sure has a very soft spot for this sport, moment, Ken. Very, very smooth and almost lazy little style.
It's effortless, Tim. It really is a joy to watch. Such good paddler. So deceptive in the sweep he has across the water.
So precise around getting 20 there. Super tight. Just getting the powerful stroke on her way to the finish. Time's looking good.
It is. She was a little bit down on the split time, Tim, but I suspect she has done enough for a place in the semi-final. 93.75 seconds for Dukatova, putting good enough for fifth place, good enough for a place in the semis. Jana, we look forward to seeing you on Saturday. Still sitting right on the bubble, Eva Churchill. Will she be in the semi-finals after first run? Well, it's Churchill versus our next paddler, Ricarda Funk.
Ricarda Funk is representing Germany again with the distinctly keen helmet and well, she finished a full lap with the year captain with the silver medal European Championships and Leipzig earlier in the year, so hopefully also having a home advantage in as well.
Absolutely. And to use a little bit of that Leipzig artificial course experience on this course. She was 4 seconds down on the split in. She won't be challenging for the race lead. Ricarda Funk was into 6th place and was guaranteed a place in the semi-final. Funk stops the clock 93.89 seconds in 6th place. 2 paddlers remain in. Who do they go next?
Next up, representing Austria, we've got Marinia Kula, and she's been smoked against 14, so it looks like she's going about her business in a very orderly fashion. Marin's a very, very strong female athlete and also very accomplished in terms of race wins. She's the only woman ever in this past to win successive world championships, so very impressive statistic. She also won the World Cup overall this year, Ken. She's got good form at the moment.
Absolutely, Tim. I'm impressed. You're turning into Slalom out there to hold these back and bigger. As we walk through the head towards the finish line. Split times were very good for Kula. 1 second down on that second split, so and she is clean. Kula stops the clock. 91.43 seconds. Second place. Karina, we look forward to seeing you on Saturday. You are in the semi-final. 1 athlete remains, Tim, and she is the reigning world champion. Who have we got?
Coming into gate 15, we've got Jessica Fox. It's the only athlete left, like you just said, Kev, so we're hoping Jessica's going to step up and smash the 90-second barrier for us. If anyone can do it, Jess certainly can. As you said, Kev, reigning champion. Oh, I'm sure that wasn't in a race plan. Just had to go back to gate 18, Kev. I mean, is it possible that she can qualify this one too?
Well, she's going to do it. She's going to need the support of the crowd. It's time to make some noise for Jessica Fox.
High into gate 20, and she's a very, very physically accomplished athlete, so generally the athletes are exhausted by this part of the course, but I'm sure Jess will still be motoring. She's doing her best there.
And it looks like Jess Fox is going to have to rely on her second run. 101 seconds. Good enough for 38th place. She is going to need a second run if she's going to make the semi-final. But that does mean it's good news for Eva Churchill that she is in 20th place and she's guaranteed a place in the semi-finals. So, just a reminder, top 20 athletes from first run are direct into the semi-final. And it will be the top 10 second run that get remaining places in the semi-final. Joined now in the commentary box by Andy Marek. Good to have you back. You've been watching that race from the sidelines. Any particular observations for second run?
Obviously, today's job is about getting through into the semi-finals, but yes, rather there, world champion from Australia, Jessica Fox. Just shows what does this lady do for herself on your back door, and she's got a brother now. She's got a double up. She did the double last year. World champion at Canoe already. She wants to bring back your other two ladies.
No, not at all, Andy. And it's interesting where that time was.